Welcome to Lower Body Blast. We have an hour of all lower body moves, followed by the end, we'll have a little bit of core in that 60 minutes. What you'll want for today, equipment, you'll need weights if you have them. I'm going to use a ball, one of those large Swiss balls, for hamstring curls. But if you have like a towel or paper plates or gliders, those work just fine for that same purpose. You're basically just moving your feet across the ground. There's also one move where we're going to do squats with circles with gliders. You can always opt to not use the glider and just move your foot up off the floor too. The only other thing you'll want is a chair. So we're going to do hip thrusters. You can also use that ball we're going to use instead of the chair. So I actually might try it with the ball. We'll see how that goes. I might go get my chair. One move, we're going to use bands. We're going to do standing leg lifts. So that move will require bands, those mini bands. If you don't have one, you'll still feel it even without it. I'm going to give a couple options. So there's going to be an option with extra resistance for some moves and some that you can take it up a notch without using weights. So you can kind of take your pick on which works better for you. All right. Our verse for today, it's going to make sense when we do our devotional, is from Ezekiel 37:4. Then he said to me, speak a prophetic message to those bones and say, dry bones, listen to the word of the Lord. So we'll read the full devotional at the end. Let's just open in a quick prayer. Heavenly Father, I lift up your name. Lord, I pray that you would keep our bodies safe from all injuries, that you would give us the energy and the strength to get through all these movements, and that we would be able to worship you and connect with you during this time. Ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen. Stop touch. All right, kick your butt. Speed it up. Doesn't have to be real fast, more of a jog. Getting those muscles moving. All right, we're gonna opposite hand, opposite foot, reach. We're just reaching towards that toe. It's not important whether or not you actually touch it, just that you're reaching for it. Draw that core in. My legs are so sore today. This should be interesting. Doing a sore leg, lower body workout. All right, high knees. Get them up high. Speed it up. All right, take those legs wide. Reach it down and up. Reach it down, up. Getting a little inner thigh stretch. Other side. Great job. All right, we're going to turn to the side. Long stride still. Lunge it out. Give me 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, switch those legs out. Other leg comes forward, other leg goes back. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, grab the wall. We're gonna swing that leg open and close, or forward and backward rather. Great job. We're just opening up that hip. We gotta get some mobility going on in there. Go ahead, switch those legs out for me. Woo. Should feel good by now, especially if your legs are sore from previous workouts. All right, feet a little bit wider than hip distance. Squat it down and up. Keep that chest lifted, core engaged, weight in those heels. All right, we're gonna drop it down, straighten out the legs, touch towards the ground, reach it on up, squat, straighten, bring it up, squat, straighten, reach it up. Again. We don't want to hold the stretch, so we're moving through it. All right, take those feet back. All right, if you can, speed it up. Your cross country ski. My little braid is swaying in the wind. All right, jumping jacks to finish off. You can always modify here or come up here. Great job. Come to a step touch here. All right. First move is going to be a curtsy lunge. You have the option to hold on to weights or put them up on your shoulders. If you're not using weights, or even if you are but you have good balance, we're going to do a step back, curtsy lunge to a tap. We want to take it up a notch. Curtsy lunge, knee lift. Either option is great. Pick yours. When that timer goes off, we're gonna start. Here we go. So curtsy lunge, tap, or curtsy lunge, knee lift. You get to pick which you prefer. Maybe you want to alternate. Maybe you want to take it up a notch. Get that knee lift in there. Work those legs a little different. If you're not sure about your balance, especially if you have heavy weight, I just want that tap. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Rest. All right. Second time through. Whew. We're going to hold it down. So you're taking out that knee lift completely. You're just going to find your curtsy lunge and hang out there. Here we go. Hold it down low. So check it out. My legs are staggered. So a regular lunge, my legs would be here, but that leg is behind me. Make sure, look at your knee. Make sure it's not in front of your toe. I want you to feel it here, that glute. Sink it down a little deeper. Woo! Feeling good already, aren't we? Almost there. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Go ahead, shake it out. Let the blood come back to those legs. We've got pulses next. If you want, you can do 3 pulses and a knee lift, or just pulse. So, option 1 would be 3 pulses, knee lift. Option 2 would be just staying right here, pulsing it out. If you have really heavy weights right now, I don't recommend the knee lift, just because it requires a lot of balance, and the last thing we want is for you to lose your balance and then lose your weight. We want to keep all body parts, all toes intact. Rest. Woo! Excellent. Walk it out. You can set your waist down for this 40-second rest. Maybe take this time to hydrate. We're going to do the other leg next. So whatever you did on leg number 1, same thing for leg number 2. So if you use 20 pounds on leg number 1, use 20 pounds leg number 2. You did that knee lift, same thing on this side. Here we go. Curtsy lunge, either with that knee lift or just a tap. Even just coming down and then up to that tap requires a little bit of balance. It's just extra when you're taking a full foot off the ground. But you get to decide where you're at as far as your balance. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Excellent. Great job. Whew. We are going into that isometric hold next. So no knee lifts, no matter what. Here we go. Isometric. Whew. Sink it down nice and low. I'm going to turn to the side a little bit. Give you a different view. So check it out. My leg is back behind and diagonal. I'll turn this way. Hold it here. That's all I want. But sink it down a little deeper. Check in with that knee. Make sure it's not coming in front of that toe. Woo. You might lose your balance a little bit. Just go ahead and find it and come right back. Rest. Woo. Great job. Woo. Shake it out a little bit. We're going to that pulse. Remember, you can do 3 with a knee lift, or hold it down for that pulse the whole 40 seconds. Here we go. So you can do 3, knee lift, or stay here. I'm going to stay right here. You get to pick though. You don't have to do what I'm doing. You have to do what feels right and challenging for you today. This feels challenging. I'm already getting elbow drips, like sweat dripping off my elbows. So I know it's working. You getting those elbow drips yet? Woo! 3, 2, 1, and rest. Woo! All right. Go ahead, you can set your weights down for now. Second move, we've got a plie. So it's different than a sumo. Sumo is wide, toes facing forward. Plie, toes are turned out. We're gonna sink it down. I want it to look like your legs are like a little hockey goal here, like a kid's hockey goal. You can opt to put weights on your shoulder or not. We're gonna move through this first one, up and down. All right, here we go. Down and up. Check it out though. My down is down, but my up is not here. My legs are not straight. Down. I'm barely even coming up. Do not straighten out those legs on me. Keep those knees bent at all times because I want that resistance there. the entire time. This isn't quite a pulse. We're not moving that quickly, but it's like a pulse in that we're engaged the whole time. Keep breathing through it. Rest. All right. Catch your breath. We've got an isometric hold next. Remember, you can throw weights on your shoulder, but you don't have to. Whew. Turn out those toes. Sink it down here. All right, I'm going to give you a challenge while we're in this isometric hold. If you want, try lifting up those heels. I'm lifting up mine. I don't know if you can see this yet, but my right leg is already starting to shake. Yours might be too. Even if you have your legs down, they might still be shaking. That's good. You can't leave a workout after they shake and think to yourself, I didn't do anything, can ya? Whew. Oh man, they're shaking bad. Rest. Did you guys see that? That was nuts. It's like an earthquake over here. All right, pulses are next, so get ready. Here we go. Here we go. Pulse. So a little 1-inch movement up and down. So you never come all the way up. If you want to make this harder, just like we did last time, lift up those heels a little. You can play around with it, like alternating, lifting those heels, as long as you're able to maintain the pulse. That's what's important right now, is that pulse. Keep that chest lifted, core braced. It burns so much. 3, 2, 1, rest. Woo! We made it, hallelujah. All right, great job making it so far. All right, this next one, I'm grabbing my big ball. If you don't have a big ball, grab some towels to put underneath your feet or those gliders. Either way, they just go underneath your feet. You want to use your heels to push. So you push it out and in, but then lifting your hips up off the ground. Push and pull. So I don't want this. We're not just pushing and pulling with our hips down. We've got to be up off the mat, pushing and pulling. You're doing an awesome job. Keep it going. Woo! Two, one, rest. So keep in mind, if I just had gliders, my feet would just be on the ground, but I'd still lift my legs up and down. All right, this time, I want you to slow it down. Try to think of yourself as like you're in slow motion here. Slow in, slow out. If it helps to count to 3 or 4, and then pull it back in for 3 or 4. We were at like a 1-in-1 tempo, out in. Now we're doing 3, 2, 1, maybe 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's slow, okay? Make sure your hips are off the mat.
3, 2, 1.
Rest. Woo! Hello, hamstrings. All right, this last one, we just slowed it down. Now we're gonna speed it up as quickly as you can. You can shorten it a little bit to make it go a little faster. Here we go. As fast as you can, in and out. So the opposite of last time. This time it's as fast as you can. Your hamstrings are probably burning by now. It's totally fine if you're on the floor
With towels, it still does the exact same work. Woo, burns so much. Keep going.
3, 2, 1.
Rest. All right. So this next one I'm going to show you with gliders, really glider. But if you don't have gliders, like maybe you've just been using the big ball and not a towel or anything, this move can be done without the glider as well. Glider goes underneath one foot. You're gonna squat it down. The first round, you're gonna make circles with the one foot, and the other foot stays down, or leg stays down into a squat. So come down to a squat, circle that leg around. Doing great. If you need to, you can always add weight on your shoulders to make that single glute a little more intense. But this can also be done without a glider. Can completely just like not let your foot touch the ground. Just kind of make circles in the air. Rest. Woo! Stay on that same leg. This time, your foot is gonna go out and in. But I want you to come down into that squat first. Here we go. Squat it down, in and out. So check it out. This is still a regular squat. You're still down nice and low. You're just only on one leg. So it's similar to when we've done like the pistol squat or that Bulgarian split squat, except we're moving the other leg at the same time. Make sure that butt is down nice and low. If it's not low, get it down a little lower.
3, 2, 1.
Woo! Hello, leg of mine, you are awake. All right. This last one. Whew, gotta catch my breath.
3.
In and out, forward and back. Here we go. I gotta move forward a little bit. I know it probably cuts off part of my foot, but otherwise, kind of running into the wall. Now say I was not using a glider, I'd still be here. Maybe just a tap. Trust me, I feel this too. Woo! Rest. So hey, maybe you're that person that doesn't have gliders or a towel available. Maybe you have them, but they're not available. That's okay. Whew. Boy, did I feel that without a glider. All right, same thing, other glute. It's my right glute's turn. It's okay if you did your right glute and now you're on your left. Whichever leg you're on doesn't matter, just as long as you're not doing the same leg twice. Whew. This leg will probably be harder. All right, first things first. Squat it down, circles. If I didn't have a glider, it's the same thing. Whew. I almost feel like it's a little harder without the glider. Make that circle big. Stay down low. Try not to come up when you come in. Try and stay down the whole time. Rest. Woo! Losing my little headband. Full digit. All right. Get ready.
2,
In and out.
isometric.
Squat it down first. In and out. If you want to add a little bit of arms into it, you can. If you want to have weights on your shoulders, you sure can. You don't have to though. I chose not to. That doesn't mean you can't. Just means that I chose not to. Woo! Is it burning yet? Dang it, it's burning over here.
3, 2, 1.
Rest. Woo! That was great. Excellent job. All right. Side to side, front to back with that leg. Come down into that squat first.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. I'll do a couple without it. I honestly feel like it's harder without the glider. I don't know why. If you have that glider, you can keep using it. I just sort of lost mine, so I'm going to keep going without it.
2, 1.
Rest. All right. If you're going to use a chair, well, use a chair for the next one. It's that hip thruster. I got to go grab mine real quick. It can probably be done on the ball, but I would prefer a chair if you have one. Grab a weight, something heavy. We're gonna come off the edge of the chair. Your shoulders will be the only thing on there. Weight's gonna be on those hips. Thrust it up. Drop those hips low. Thrust it up. Pushing through those heels. My chair keeps moving, so I'm gonna hold on to it. But if yours doesn't move, don't worry about that. So that hip just goes, or your weight just goes on your hip. And then you thrust those hips up, squeezing those glutes.
1.
Rest. Whew. All right, this next one, we're gonna slow it down a little bit. So it's not a thrust the second time. It's a slow, controlled movement. Here we go. Bring it down low. Thrust it up and hold. Bring it down low. Thrust it up and hold. That pace. Nice and slow. If you have a higher bench, that would work too. The main thing is you want to be able to dip those hips down and then push them back up. That's where that chair helps hold your shoulders up. Keep it nice and slow.
3, 2, 1.
Rest. It's really hard to get back into this position on time, so I'm opting to just kind of hang out here. We're going to speed it up for the last one.
2, 1.
Here we go. So I'm more at the top range of the motion. Squeezing that glute really quick. Woo! Feeling that booty yet? Keep it going. We're almost there. We got 10 more seconds.
3,
2, 1. Woo! Rest. All right. You don't need your chair for anything else. Whew. We've got a lunge with a leg lift next. Whew. Whew. All right, so you can put weights on your shoulder, or you can opt not to. Pick a leg. It's going to be a lunge with an optional lift. Option 1, down and up. Option 2, down, lift, down, lift. Whichever one you do is up to you. If you don't feel stable with that lift, you can always grab a chair if you really want to add it, but you feel like you're going to fall over. On that lift, focus on squeezing that glute at the top. Rest. Whew. Okay, same leg. Catch your breath. You're going to come down low into that lunge. Option to hold that leg up or just hold the lunge down. So option 1, hang out here. Option 2, hang out low. So it's more of a squat at that point with a leg up. Or just stay here. You can always play around with it, maybe hold for like 5 seconds. Do a little lift, hold a little longer. Totally up to you, make it your own. I'm just gonna hold for the rest of the time and not lift that leg up, but you certainly can.
3,
2, 1. Woo! Catch your breath. We've got pulses next. So, option 1, 3 pulses with a leg lift. Option 2, just pulse. Here we go. So option 1, 3, 2, 1, lift. 3, falling over. 2, 1, lift. Option 2, you just stay here. I like the lift, so I'm gonna add it in. So you can stay with me at my pace, or you can count it out yourself. Whew. Keep it going though.
3, 2, 1.
Woo! Rest. All right. Grab a drink of water. Maybe towel off. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Lunge leg lift or lunge no lift. Remember, you can take this lift out. This is a full lunge before you lift it up if you're lifting. Keep going. Whew. 2, 1. Whew. Rest it up. Catch your breath here. All right, here we go. So either hold it down the whole time or hold it down after 5 seconds. Lift it up. I'm gonna just hold, but you have the option to hold for a few seconds and then lift it up or just hold. I say just hold, but we both know just holding is still hard. Make sure either way you're sinking it down nice and low.
3,
2, 1. Rest. Woo! Catch your breath here. Remember, for this last one, you can do 3 pulses and a leg lift, or just pulse. Here we go. So it's either 3, 2, 1, lift, or hang out here. One other option, if you feel like getting crazy, you can always play around with the lunge and lifting up that heel. It just works your leg a little different. It might make your leg shake a little. You get to pick though.
3,
2,
1.
rest. Whew. Great job. All right, we've got a goblet squat next. But grab a drink real quick, maybe towel off if you're as sweaty as me. Whew. All right. So for that goblet squat, get a nice grip on that weight. Feet are wider than hip distance, but they're not like a sumo wide either. You're gonna drop it down, tapping that floor, or getting close to tapping the floor. Maybe your weight doesn't actually tap the floor. I'd rather you not tap it if you're gonna round your shoulders forward. Keep going. Whew. So what do I mean? So you might start coming forward to try and get that weight down, in which case, throw those shoulders back, focus more on getting those hips back and down, and less on getting towards the ground. All right, here we go. Keep going. Rest. Whew. My hair has gone crazy. My ponytail is crooked. My hair is all poopy. That's okay. We aren't here to look cute, right? All right, isometric hold. So that weight hovers above the ground. Do not let it touch the ground. Check it out here. Nice and low with that booty. Keep that chest lifted. My chest is not here. It is here. Sit that booty down nice and low here. You're doing so awesome. Just hang in there a little longer. 10 more seconds. You got this. We got this. 2, 1, rest. Woo! All right. Whew. Seeing stars a little. Catch your breath. Maybe shake it out a little bit. We're gonna go back into pulses. Here we go. Whew. I apparently stood up way too quick because got super lightheaded. So a little 1-inch movement up and down. That's it. Check in with that core. Is it still braced for me? If not, tuck it in. Brace it up like someone's gonna come through and give you a gut punch. I know no one's gonna hopefully ever actually do that to you, but that's how tight your core needs to be. Chest is lifted. Weight in those heels. Rest. Wouldn't that be terrible if one of these days I'm saying that to you and somebody in your house hears it and they're like, wham! Just hit you right in the gut. I hope not. All right, this next one is when we're going to use that band if you want to use it. You believe it? We're already to the band moves. Those are always towards the end. All right, so that band's just going to go around the ankles. All right. Option, the timer already went off. You can hold on to the wall or a chair. You're just lifting that leg up and down. If that band's really tight, your leg's gonna wanna snap back. Try not to let it snap back. So try and lower it gently. If you're doing this without a band, your leg might come up a lot higher. Another option, rest. If you don't have a band, but you have ankle weights, that's a great option. All right, round 2, we're gonna hold. So same leg. Remember, to get that lift, you're just hinging from the hip. You're not arching. So hinge it from the hip, lift that leg up. You can challenge your balance here. Kind of make this more of like a warrior 3, where your hands are out to your side. Or you can hold onto a chair or a wall, but keep that leg engaged the whole time. Should really feel that in the glute. Keep breathing here. Draw that core in, don't let it go.
3, 2, 1.
Rest. I don't always use the wall, but I'm grateful it's there because I almost fell over like 3 times. Whew. All right. Get your bearings and then get ready because we're going to pulse that leg. So you're going to lift it up and you're going to pulse it. Here we go. This is going to be the mother of all moves in this set, the pulse. I know pulsing is fun. You never leave a class after a pulse and think to yourself, wow, I just don't feel like we really did anything. Whew. Because you know God is on the move, on the move. Hallelujah. Woo! Sing it out. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Woo! All right. Shake those legs out a little bit. Let that blood flow back to your limbs. Leave those, if you're using the band, leave it around your ankles. If you grab a drink, towel off if you need to. Whew. All right, we're going to do the same thing with our other leg. We don't want to rock around with one like rockin' booty and one really weak one, right? All right, here we go. So remember, when we're coming up and down, to not let that leg just drop. It's going to want to, because you're stretching that band, so the band's going to want to snap back together, right? So you got to elongate, bring it back slowly. So there's going to be resistance there to not let it snap back. Draw that core in. Whew. Keep it going, you guys. Rest. All right, ISO is next. So we're going to bring it on up, and we're going to hang out there like that's our favorite place to be. Here we go. Isometric, hold it up. You are rocking this. I know that leg wants to touch the floor right now. I know that band is starting to feel real heavy. That's okay. Even if you're not using a band, your leg is probably starting to feel really heavy. Trust me, we do this move in yoga without a band, and you definitely feel it, especially in that standing leg too, right? Keep that leg up. 2, 1, and rest. Whew. All right, get ready. We've got that pulse coming last. Whew. Here we go. 1, go. Little move up and down. Woo! I'm really glad there's a wall here to catch me right now. All right, you got to dig deep here. This is that point of the workout where your mind is going to start to fail you a little bit. It's going to tell you not to finish. It's going to tell you to give up, but you can't listen. You got to fight for more. You got to fight to be the winner here. 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, you can lose the band. We're going to come down onto all fours. So if you're like me and like threw your mat to the side from those glider moves, bring it back out. We're going to come down onto all fours. Now the only way you could really make this harder safely is if you had ankle weights, but you'll feel it without anything extra. You'll be down on all fours. Legs going to come out to the side. Lift it up and down. I suppose if you really, really wanted extra, you could try balancing while holding a weight there. But I promise you, you're going to feel this without any extra weight. Or if you had a long enough band, you could make it work. But those mini bands are too short. I want you to point your toe here. Rest. Whew. Quick little rest. Second time through, we're going to hold that leg up. You can feel that little side glute is where we're working right here. Hold it up. So you might start to get a little bit of a cramp in there. For one thing, this part of the glute doesn't always get worked enough and has a tendency to be a little bit weaker. That's why we're working it. Keep it up. You're doing awesome. Don't let that Don't let that leg drop. Brace that core. Draw it in.
3,
2, 1.
rest.
Woo! No, I didn't use any weight. Well, let me tell you, that was not easy. All right, last one. We're gonna pulse that same leg. Here we go. Leg comes out to the side. Pulse it here. Woo! It's cramping. I don't know about you, but my glute is screaming. I want you to get comfortable being uncomfortable. This is not a comfortable feeling, but this is where that change happens. This is where you find out who you are and what you're made of. 3, 2, 1, rest. Woo! All right. Do me a favor. Towel off. Shake it out a little bit. And then flip it over to the other side. If you have more room than me, you don't have to flip around. Just make sure you're not doing all this on the same leg, because ouch. All right. Remember, you're on all fours. If this bothers your wrists, you can always come down to your elbows. That leg just comes out to the side. Point the toe if you can. Lift it up and down. Draw that core in. So imagine there's like a string on your belly button and someone's pulling it up towards your spine. You should be feeling it right through here. That side of your glute. All right, show me what you're made of here. and rest. Whew. I am just a sweaty mess. All right. Isometric is next. Just like we did on the other side. Take that leg out to the side and hold it up. If it bothers you to be up this tall, you can always come down to one elbow. The main point here is to keep that leg lifted, keep that strain here in that glute. That leg's gonna want to drop. You tell that leg, we're not dropping, not yet. Not till that timer goes off. Keep breathing here. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, one more time through. Whew. With that pulse, I'm getting the eye sweat. Whew. Dangerous. All right, here we go. Pulses. Little one-ish movement up and down. Something you said. All right. This is that time. We gotta dig deep. Ignore that discomfort, that burning you're feeling in that glute. Shout it out. Let me hear you. I will finish. Rest. Woo! Excellent job. All right. All we have left now is core. So flip it onto your back. All right. First move. We're going to alternate. Dropping opposite arm, opposite leg. You can opt to straighten the leg or just tap it down. But whichever leg is tapping down, the opposite arm is going to stretch long. So you can stretch it long, or if that's too hard, just tap. You pick your level. Keep breathing here. Don't hold your breath. 3, 2, 1. Whew. Quick little rest. Next move, we're going to bring it on up. Tap towards the ceiling. Drop it down. Crunching it up. I want you to crunch all the way up to the knees. And then back down. If you need to slow it down a little bit, you can. Otherwise, just stay in pace with me. Almost there. Rest. All right, flip it on to one side. We got side planks. You have the option if you want to thread the needle. Elbows or wrist. So you have the option if you want to drop a knee down. Can always lift one leg up. Or you have the option to take that top arm, thread the needle. Keep breathing here. You can just hold it too, you don't have to thread the needle. Okay, rest, flip it over. Other side right away. Whew. Whatever you did on the other side, Do it on this side. So remember, you can always drop one knee down if it gets to be too much. Try to stack that wrist underneath the shoulder. You just keep that arm up, or you can thread the needle through. That's up to you. I am just the one giving you options. You're the one who has to follow through. Great job today, though. Way to show up and work hard. Rest. All right. Plank it out for this next one. You take any variation you want. Elbow or wrist. So you can hold static. Maybe you like doing like the sexy legs. Maybe you want a jumping jack. Whew, that is not safe to do over here. It is slippery. I'm just gonna hold static. But you know, all the different variations, I showed you a couple. It's up to you if you want to take them or not. Do me a favor though, make sure your hips are not up here or way down here. Somewhere in between. Neutral spine here. Rest. Alright. Last one we're gonna do slow mountain climbers. So we're not running. And actually, if you can manage it, cross the knee over. If that is too much, you can always just make them straight ahead. But if you can manage it, you can bring that knee to the opposite side. Keep breathing here. Don't hold your breath. 2, 1. Woo! We did it! We are at the cool down. All right. First move here. One knee down, one knee up. Push those hips forward into a hip flexor stretch. Hang out here for just a second. All right, go ahead, switch those legs out. So the other knee up, other knee down. Remember, we're pushing the hips forward. We're not pushing our whole body. That's what I'm trying to say. Geez, words are hard today. Whew. All right. Next, we're going to do a half pigeon. So you're going to cross one leg in front, knee bends, leg crosses in front, other leg comes long behind. If you can, square up those hips. Otherwise, you can always drop over to the side if that bothers your knee too much. Or take the same position laying down. If it feels good, you can always come down to your elbows. If it doesn't feel good, you can certainly stay up there a little bit higher. Just go to where you feel a stretch, especially those last couple moves we did. This will really stretch that area out for you. And I like to stay here just a little bit longer than other spots. All right, go ahead. Swap those legs out. Other leg comes in front, other leg goes behind. All right. So we read from Ezekiel 37:4. God called Ezekiel to prophesy to a valley of dried out bones. They'd been dead a long time. Not just any dried, dead bones, but a nation buried in despair and hopelessness. God called it a grave of exile. Yet God can bring to life anything, anytime, anywhere. The wind of the Spirit blew.
The valley of old bones reassembled, and they came to life and formed a great army. Note the progression of restoration. First, there was a sound of rattling of old bones coming back to life. Go ahead. I want you to just come onto one side, kind of rest your head in your hand, and just pull back on the top of your foot to get a quadricep stretch here. So you'll feel that in the front of the leg. So first there was a rattling of old bones coming to life. After the bones came together, muscles formed, and then skin. And then suddenly there was a great army. This is such a picture of God's order of things. First, he builds an infrastructure, then he adds the strength. Go ahead, switch to the other legs. You're gonna flop it over. Flopping. Pull back on the other foot. Then he mobilizes us into God-given purpose. As you speak life into your dead valleys, understand that God is a God of order, and he works from the inside out. He first puts lives back together, then he builds strength. After that, he mobilizes us to conquer enemy territory as the army of God. So dare to look at the barren parts of your life and the dead bones scattered in your valley and speak life. Believe, wait, and watch for God to do the impossible. All right, take those legs straight out in front, lift it straight up, hinge it forward, and just reach for your toes. So go ahead and I want you to identify the valley in your life that needs the breath of God. Speak as though you are speaking the very words of God. God of heaven, breathe life in and through me. Show me how to speak life into every situation. Amen. All right. Can release. We're just going to close with a quick prayer here. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for our time together. Thank you for allowing us to move our bodies and for giving us bodies that move. Lord, you are the breath in my lungs. You are the song in my spirit. Lord, just be with us as we go forward today and every day. In Jesus' name, amen.